Here we go. My favourite action song goes like this. I copyrighted the actions. No, I didn't. But it's one of those. This song's about Elvis Presley. As you know, Elvis Presley used to be a movie star, had a beautiful face, played a guitar, and all of the girls loved him. If you get the right music at the right time, you can get anybody to work. I love watching teachers get kids quiet. You ever seen a teacher get a kid quiet? I'm in one school, this is a long while back, and this teacher goes to year threes, stop right now, and every year three stopped and went, thank you very much. And I thought, that's pretty awesome. And I go back to the staff room and went, that's pretty funny, did you see what she did? And this lady goes, I'm too old for the Spice Girls. I said, what do you mean? She says, I use the Supremes. I said, what do you teach? She said, year 6. This is Deception Bay in Queensland. So this is out on the bay, lots of Maori and Islander kids and stuff like that. And she goes, stop in the name of love. And the kids are going to go, before you break my heart, think it over. And I thought, this ain't gonna work. And she says, watch me. Kids are lining up. All of these big kids. She goes, stop in the name of love. And every kid went, before you break my heart, think it over. And why did that work? Because these kids are right on that cultural bit. They're used to singing and dancing with it. So I thought, I need a better action song. So this is a song about Elvis Presley. It goes like this. First, you've got to get your hair right. Because Elvis changed hair for everyone, didn't he? I still want his hair. Next one, you've got to get ready to dance. Because Elvis danced different from everybody. And the next one is, you've got to sing the song. So here it goes. It goes like this. Elvis Presley, I'm a movie star. I got a cute, cute face. And my guitar, I got the hips. I got the lips. I've got the girls so fine. I got the girls so fine. I'm a tenor. Movie star. How good is that, right? Here you go. You're ready. Give it a try. Here we go. I'm Elvis Presley, movie star. I got the cute, cute face and my guitar. I got the hips. I got the lips. I got the girls so fine. I got the girls so fine. I'm a tenor. Movie star. Now, if you want to learn this, don't sit down. Find a partner quick. Turn and face your partner. Figure out which one of you is the tallest one. Okay, tallest one, fold your arms like that and look at your partner. The shortest one, you get to sing the song to them. The next developmental level is not just doing it, it's doing it for an audience. This gets that little plastic brain. And I'm going, oh, kill them! Then I realised they didn't understand about audio. They needed practice. So you start small, think big. Start small, think big, start now, don't quit. That's the resilience mantra. So here we go. Big hand up, look at them like they're beautiful. I mean, tall hand, tall one. Look at them like they're beautiful. Small one. Sing like it's your last dance on it. Hands up. Elvis Presley, movie star. I got the cute, cute face and my guitar. I got the hips. I got the lips. I got the girls so fine. I got the girls so fine. Movie star. Person goes like this. And the shortest person goes like this. Thank you very much. And then your Girls so far. Girls so far. Take a seat. And then you say the words. Here we go. Get over it, princess, right? Never, ever say this to anyone else, right? But how many times you look at it, you go, gotta do it. Because most of life is stupid, would you agree? Because we've got to just push through the pain, don't we? So that's why I was showing you this clip.
Such feelings coming over me. There is wonder in most everything I see. Not a cloud in the sky, got the sun in my eyes, and I won't be surprised if it's a dream. I'm on top of the world.
I hate words.
This is the
How good is that? But you've got to resist the temptations to go, it's only CGI, it's untrue. You know, it's that sort of stuff. And I love watching kids go, what? Because that's what it's like. And when we look through, that's the story. Today I want to share the story of the earth fairly quickly in a very short period of time. This is a pretty interesting story of the earth today. This is actual figures. Have a look. This is you. Isn't that scary? Have a look at that. You're only one of 7 billion people on the planet. We're not that important, really, when you think about it. That makes my troubles seem pretty insignificant, doesn't it? My dad didn't say to me ever, get over it, princess. He used to say, rub it with a brick. And if I really feel down, I have a look at this page. It's called a worldometer, or a worldometer. And it's kind of interesting, isn't it? So whilst we're talking, there's a whole bunch of women, and I know this is a bad stereotype going, ah, because they're giving birth. Because that doesn't necessarily have to be true. But there's a whole bunch of people going, and that's it. And you think between now and then, what are the two things we leave behind? Who did I love and did they love me? And what difference did I make in the world? Now the interesting thing about that is all of the stories that I believe connect with us are stories about who did I love and did they love me, and do I make a difference in my life? And when we look at this, it's kind of interesting because we're caught. Money-wise, we spend a lot of money on education, but we're not good at it, because if we were good at education, we wouldn't need to spend that money on healthcare and the military. But the scary bit is this bit. This is the bit that worries me the most. Have a look at this. Oh, hang on. Have a look at the new book titles published and see how quick we get a new book. Hang on, come on, book. Come on, book. There we go. And have a look till the next one.
It's so fun.
Yeah, and you're going, what's happening down the bottom there? Google searches. This is why no one answers your emails, right? Because we're overpowered with digital information which is so transient that we don't even see it. It's there and it's gone and it's moving all the time. And yet books are permanent reminders of who we are. And so the thing is, if we want to get those, the problem is because of this, all sorts of things happen in the world. Because we haven't got our stories right. We're stuffing up the world. Why can't we have a carbon tax? Look at all that stuff. That's got to be worth money. We're now spending more money on obesity than we are on saving people who are starving. Oops. Water consumption is kind of interesting because if you've got a toilet in your house and a water tap, you're better off than about 1 billion people on the planet. If you've got a hot water tap and a toilet, you're better off than almost half the planet. You're going, gee, we've got a lot to be grateful for, haven't we? And yet we bitch and moan when there's a cold shower. Energy is interesting because that's the big argument at the moment. And sooner or later we're going to run out of that oil in the middle there, 44 years. When I'm 111, you won't be driving a car. But the interesting bit's this is the health sector. Now the top part of the health sector is kind of interesting. The abortions bit is a bit scary though. But the problem is down the bottom where I call this addiction hangout. Have a look at the bottom 6 numbers there. Have a look at the second bottom one. That's got to be scary, doesn't it? So what we've got to think about is how do we create stories that make a difference? And catching stories is kind of interesting because when we're catching stories, everybody's got a story. And when we look at catching stories, that question I asked you before. Oh no, that's not what's called. When we're catching stories, those questions I asked you before was what was your favourite kids' book and what was your favourite cry-up? They all can get you through the hard times, can't they? There's always a character that you could be. Put it this way, when they turn the story of your life into a movie, who's going to play you? Turn the person next to you, tell them. Oh, come on. I had a funny one the other day. There was a guy in one of my workshops. He would have been about 6'7", 6'8". And I said, who's going to play you in a movie? And he goes, Danny DeVito. So that was funny. I'm pumping for Dustin Hoffman because we share a stereotype. But he's about 15 years older than me and much shorter. So I'll just have to be George Clooney again. But it's one of those things. And I use that technique sometimes just to get through the hard stuff. But when we look at our stories, it's kind of funny. Those parts of the story that doesn't have to be a big thing. Something for nothing, that story that we looked at over there. Who liked that? The cutout story. Isn't it a winner? I'm just one YouTube clip away from fame on that one. But it hits a note. It talks about the things that matter. But when we look at it, all great stories have got similar things in them. And there's a thing called the 6+1 writing trait. And I'd like to teach it to you because it's a great way to think about how can you capture story. Because we've all got a story. Who can remember the partner that they spoke to before the break and you'd said the story of your life to? And the interesting thing is all you've got to do to that person sometime today is go up to them and tell them something that they told you, and they'll go, oh, thank you, because you just validated them. In schools, I try to get people to validate kids, to greet them every time they see them, instead of just walking past them because they're too busy. To say, oh, how's your footy team going? Or I heard about your dad, or tell me about your dog, or that sort of stuff. Because even the worst kid in the world has got a story. And the trouble is that they don't stop to talk. Because we're too busy. The 6 writing traits tell us that the first writing trait is get a good idea. Now I want you to remember these, so there's actions. Here we go. Do this, hang on. That's a W for writing. So put your fingers up like that. Writing rule 1, say that with me. Writing rule 1, get a good idea. Everyone? Writing rule 1, get a good idea. Writing rule 2, organise the idea. Everyone? Writing rule 2, organise the idea. Because every story's got an organisation. They're called genres and crap like that. But what it means is that it's got a way that it works. Writing rule 3, choose the right voice. Come on, I want to hear the voice. Here we go. Writing rule 3, choose the right voice. Can you remember the story from this morning? Turn to the person next to you. Tell them the 4 voices that were in that story. Who got the little boy? What did you notice about the little boy's voice? Yeah, but it changed, didn't it? As it went on. Because as he's growing up, the voice has got to change with him. So it starts off with, but I don't want to take it to my grandpa. And then it finishes with, hey Pops, what can you do about it? So he's grown. They got the mum. I just softened off a little. They got the grandpa. Didn't have to change my voice for that one. What's the other voice? The storyteller, the narrator, and that's the one that most of us miss. Because when you pick up a story to read, you are the narrator, you are the person, and the voices matter, don't they? When you've got a voice that works out, so if you look at it, hang on, I'll book. Over here, I'll show you how reading a book can make a huge difference. I hope my voice holds up because this is my 4th day of constant presenting in a row, 5th day of constant presenting in a row. And in here, I've got a pretty interesting book. Who's ever read this one? Now, this is a book that I used to read at workshops and conferences. It's called Wombat Divine, and it's by Mem Fox. And I used to read it a lot, and one day I went home and there was a parcel waiting for me. And I opened it up, there was a card to say go to the post office to pick up a parcel. And I couldn't figure out who the heck had sent it to me. And I went and picked it up, and I opened it up, and it was this book from Mem Fox, which says, "With love to the divine Greg Mitchell." Because when you read well, people listen. You ready? I hope my voice hangs up, because I used to be better than this. It was the week before Christmas, and Wombat, he loved Christmas. He loved the carols and the presents and the pudding, but most of all, he loved the nativity play. For as long as he could remember, Wombat had wanted to be in the nativity, and now at last he was old enough to take part. And so, with his heart full of hope and his head full of dreams, he hurried away to the auditions. His friends were there already. Emu was bossing and fussing. "Now let's get started," she said now. "Who'd like to be the Archangel Gabriel?" "I would," said Wombat. But he was too heavy to be the Archangel Gabriel. Bilby was chosen instead. Bilby patted Wombat on the back. "Oh, never mind, Wombat. Don't lose heart. Why not try for a different part?" "What a good idea," said Amy now. "Who'd like to be married?" "I would," said Wombat. But he was too big to be married. Numbat was chosen instead. Numbat stroked Wombat's nose. There, Wombat. Don't lose heart. Why not try for a different part?" Like Bruce McElwain. "Right," said he now. "Who'd like to be one of the three kings?" "I would," said Wombat. But he was too short to be a king. The kangaroos were chosen instead. The kangaroos put their arms around Wombat. "Oh, cheer up, Wombat, mate. Don't lose heart. Why not try for a different part?" It's from number one. Wombat tried everything. He wanted to be Joseph, but he was too sleepy. He wanted to be the innkeeper, but he was too clumsy. And he wanted to be one of the shepherds, but he was too short-sighted. And then there were no parts left. And Wombat hung his head. And he hoped that he would cry. And suddenly Bilby leapt into the air. "Right now," he shouted, You could be the baby Jesus." Could I really?" said Wombat. "Of course you could," said Amy. "Fancy me for getting such an important part as that. A nativity play without the baby Jesus isn't a nativity at all." Wombat was dizzy with pride. Christmas Eve arrived at last, and everyone was nervous except Wombat. He lay quite still throughout the whole performance. And he even fell asleep, just like a real baby would. And on Christmas Day, when everyone was opening presents and eating pudding, they all agreed that it had been the best nativity ever. "Oh, you were divine, Wombat," said Emu. And Wombat beamed. Choosing the right voice changes everything, doesn't it? Who reckons? I reckon Wombat was a special needs kid, don't you? I reckon he makes perfect sense as a little Down syndrome kid, doesn't he? He wants to be in everything. And imagine if you had kids lining up in your classroom and there was a little saviour in the room. Wouldn't you treat them different? Isn't that a beautiful story? And so the key is that when we've got our stories, we've got to choose the voices. What's in it? Who's talking? How they're going to sound? So what do we got? Writing rule 1. Come on, everybody. Don't sit there passive. Writing rule 1. Get a good idea. Writing rule 2. Organise the idea. Writing rule 3. Choose the right voice. No. Oh, what happened? Writing rule 4. Choose the right words. Writing rule 5. Get sentence fluency. That's why you should read it out loud and get it fluent. If you can't read it out loud, it's a bad sentence. Weird thing. Who's ever read Harry Potter? I struggled with Harry Potter until I read it out loud, and then when I read it out loud as an Australian, it sucked. But as soon as I got a good English voice on it, it was just perfect. Fluency changes when you're English.
You're taking a piece out of Curran. That's possible, really.
So here we go. Writing rule 1. Get a good idea. Writing rule 2. Organise the idea. Writing rule 3. Choose the right voice. Writing rule 4. Choose the right words. Writing rule 5. Get sentence fluency. And my weakest one. Writing rule 6. Check everything. When you're like me, you're working really hard to get all the freaking words down, and then you look up and the whole page is red, underlined. I've never written one whole sentence that didn't need fixing. But I still keep trying. When I first went to Claremont Teachers College to become a teacher, was after we lost everything in Cyclone Tracy and all sorts of problems. I turn up and they go, I said, what do you want me to do? And this old guy, Curran, went, you're going to have to write. And I went, oh no. He said, what's the problem? I said, I just can't do it. He said, what's your biggest problem? I said, I just can't spell. And he went, oh, I got a solution. He reaches around and he gives me a book. And I look at it and it says dictionary. He said, learn to use it, son. First assignment, I failed. I still can remember that lecturer's name, Barrett Sheridan. Stupid song. And I thought, oh, perhaps I can't do this. Next one. Mrs. Leslie Dirksen asked me to write a kid's story. I wrote a kid's story. I said, that's a wonderful story. You should get it published. And I went, what? Turn it into a book. She said, yeah. I said, why? She said, you get money if you turn it into a book. I went, I'm doing that. Took about 5 years for that book to get published, and along with a couple of others of mine that came up. And I ended up in bookshelf reading series. And I sold hundreds of thousands of copies all over the world. There's English versions and American versions. Not bad for somebody who can't write. 2 years after that, I'm on the Curran Literature Prize, which shows you that this little dyslexic can write better than anyone else in the whole university. And 2 years after that, the Education Department hired me as a writer for the school magazine. And so I wrote for every kid in West Australia for 2 years. Still can't spell. Still get the words muddled up. Still put full stops in weird places. But you learn to persist, right? Persist, here we go. Writing rule 1. Get a good idea. Writing rule 2. Organise the idea. Writing rule 3. Choose the right voice. Writing rule 5. stick, writing rule 6, check everything. And then, da 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 da! Everyone? Da 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 da! Present it well, right? Now when you're working with kids who can't work it through, and you get things to work, and that's how it works. And that's how you end up with books like this. I didn't do the illustrations on this. I was hoping, I'm going to give you a quick illustration workshop after this. Because I grew up to do illustrations as well. I can't draw that well either, but I persist. This is simple. Can you read that? Can you read it? There we go. You can do the hard work. This came out of a simple thing in our family that Kate's the technical person, I wouldn't have a clue. Right? She tells me something, oh, that's stupid, that won't work. And she's always right. So then I turned it. It's that simple. It's just catching stories. They're the sorts of things that work with it. And there were stories about my Kate's dad who could eat anything. And had him eating all these things like pavlova and honey sandwiches. I said, he's not even fat, because he wasn't. Tall, skinny Yorkshireman. And he's got beautiful teeth. I know, because I've seen him take them out. But all I looked for is I ended up writing a whole series of these. There was about 40 of them altogether. And all I wanted was stories about normal kids. Does that make sense? About what things happen in families. They ended up in another series called Simply Sam's, which was about 6 stories about things that happen in a family. From the cubby house to making ice cream. Remember when those ice cream makers came out? I used to say to the kids, oh great, we're going to make ice cream. Let's put onion and garlic in it. How about snails and slugs? And all of that sort of stuff, and we turned that in. And just going shopping. I want to buy that. No, it costs too much. I want to buy this, it costs too much. You know, those sorts of things where you get those labels with it. Because when you look at it, it all works. Now, find a partner. We're pretty good at this, aren't we? Have a look and find someone you haven't worked with yet. Look for some fresh meat, right? Have a look around, find somebody who's going to sit next to him. Take a pen with you. And a pen if you can.
Right, come on, John, you can be my fresh man.
See is if we can get you to generate some really cool stories. I would love you to be somebody who, instead of that one book every minute, absolutely generates great stories about things that you know about, things that happen, and then we catch them and we learn how to create books. And you think that's interesting. There's a lady in Bondi called Carrie Furs. She says, our teenage kids don't understand how to connect with people. Who would agree? And she said, and there's a simple line, put up your hand if your life is easier than your grandparents' was. She reckoned, yeah, most of us would say, yeah. I don't look at my grandparents, they went through the Depression and all of that sort of stuff, buried children. My life's nothing like that. So she said, how can we get adolescents to talk to older people? Because there's no shortage of old people. Have you noticed that? Just go down to Woolies, you know? You'll see them. So she came up with this idea called book form. Now, book form is brilliant. What they do is, it's a template for a book. You go to book form, you pay so much, and you get a little app that downloads onto your phone or onto your laptop or onto your tablet. And how it works is this. They take a teenager to a old people's home, and they say, talk to them. And it asks, on the template it says, this is the question, right? So when it's a question, they ask the question and the old person talks. But the genius of this, voice recognition, captures those words and types them out. Not well, but it still types them out. But the weird thing is, these older people are really good at spelling and checking. So they get checked, they look after writing rule 6, right? And they build a book about this person's life. And then they insert photos, and at a push of a button it turns into a PDF book. Isn't that gorgeous? And if I have a look at it, hang on, oh no.
We trot students to visit their elderly residents and really get to know them. During weekly visits over 8 weeks, the students would interview the residents about their lives, recording what they had to say so that it could be turned into a book.
Love this, and those books have now been handed over. It was a very memorable and we're told emotional presentation ceremony. In all, 23 students and 23 residents from
King's College kids wear the most stupid uniform. And you've got to pay a shed load of money to get that.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Two of the participants, Cyrus Anderson and Mary Pavicianos. Good morning to you guys. Good morning. We've got the finished article. Can't wait to talk to you about that in a moment. Well done. Brilliant project and so well put together. Cyrus, I want to start with you. When you first heard about this, actually one of the teachers or somebody at school said, we've got this idea for 11 of you to team up with some residents at one of the aged care facilities. Some of the kids roll their eyes and think, oh, that doesn't sound like much fun.
Honestly, I think everyone was really excited. In my class, everyone thought, wow, this has never happened before, and everyone wanted to do it. So, of course, we all asked Miss Fraser, the teacher who was organising it, if we could do it. But unfortunately, she could only pick 11 students, and the 11 of us who were chosen, we were all so happy to be part of this.
And then you picked Mary.
I did.
Why?
Well, Miss Fraser, she told me about Mary. She said she was a nun for 40 years, and I thought that was amazing since I'm a Christian myself. And I thought we just get along so well. And she was a principal, and yeah, I think it just clicked.
Yeah. Mary and Cyrus comes in, and you're faced with this prospect of telling him your story.
I didn't know he knew anything.
Yeah. Well, he knows a lot, doesn't he? Because as we've seen, he's put together this wonderful publication. It's really quite brilliant with photos and everything. But the process of sitting down and telling Cyrus your story, not a family member, a stranger and a young person, how did you find that experience?
At first, rather daunting, but Cyrus was such a good interviewer, I think, that he drew me out and gave me great confidence. And I just knew I needed to tell what he asked or talk about it with great confidence and authenticity.
And like any brilliant interviewer, as you said, he got you to talk about things that you hadn't talked about before, like being a nun. The process of actually talking about that, because a lot of people didn't know that that was part of your life,
That's right.
How did it feel to get that off your chest?
Eventually, especially when I read the book, and I've read it 5 times last week, it was so freeing, I couldn't believe it. I went to our care, the aged care facility at Oaklands, just, 12, 13 weeks ago, and I thought, no, this is something that, it won't be part of my future life. I won't talk about it because it's about nearly 30 years since I left. And, but somehow or other I had to make the decision, would I be free? And I can't believe the freedom that's brought.
And look at the look on your face as you're talking about that.
Cyrus, you did the interview, obviously, and you did that over a series of weeks, and then went away and put the publication together, which we've got here. It's just beautifully
It's
done.
so beautiful.
Tell us about presentation day, when you were able to present it to Mary.
Presentation day was amazing. It was after, I think, 10 weeks of interviewing and hard work, and everyone was just so happy to be able to hand the books of who are now physical objects to our residents. And the expressions on everyone's faces, everyone was just so happy, all of our families, the students, the residents. Well, I've learned so many valuable life lessons. Mary personally has taught me to be courageous and to always follow my heart, as she did when she left her coven. And that's something you just can't learn unless you try this project.
You two are going to be lifelong best friends, and I hope there is a lot of life left, Mary, because it's wonderful. And Cyrus, congratulations to you for all of your friends at school. That's a very, very brilliant thing that you've done. Congratulations.
Who's tearing up a little bit there? Isn't that beautiful?
Mary and Cyrus, that's just beautiful. What a friendship.
Lovely to meet you.
Fantastic.
Oh, lovely to have met you too.
Thank you so much.
The stories from people who don't get seen. Does that make sense? We've also got to think about what they learnt in that bond, the relationship that happened, but also I would love Cyrus to be reading to a kid, to get that cycle to be going around. Does that make sense? Because Cyrus has got plenty of energy, I think. But it's beautiful. Now you are going to make a book with your partner here. First we're going to warm up with a bit of illustration work. Put one pad and one pen between the two of you. First I'm going to teach you the strategy. The strategy is called 2 on a crayon. Now this works brilliantly with little dudes when they are starting to talk, right? So you could do this with a little dude and sit down and make their own book. And what you say is, what's the story going to be about? And then you can work it through, right? Now how this first is, first you're going to draw a picture together. You've got to be used to working as a team. Got it? So when I say go, one of you starts drawing. Then I'll say change and you give it to your partner. And we'll see what picture we end up with. And I go change and we come back again. Here we go. Are you ready? Okay, start drawing. Ideas are all around us. We've just got to grab them out of there. Then we've got to put them together. And don't be scared to illustrate them yourself. That was me last night on the plane. I just could not draw the eyes. I just had to put blobs in there. But I thought that was pretty darn good. Oh, hang on, I'll put it on the mic. Can I do that? I'm using the universal eraser. These parents used to clean them with spit. My dad used to do it all the time. He used to always carry a handkerchief ago. Some emotions are easier than others. What about this one? What about this one? See, it doesn't take much, doesn't it? And then there's stuff where you go, I don't know. And see, all you've got to do then, and you can change the gender on this pretty simple. So you can go from to, it's a boy, to 0101, simple. Don't be scared to do your own pictures. It doesn't have to be anything. All it needs, I read Jack Tent for a year and it was crap. But kids love it. And they love the stories you can write with them. And they love the stories that were made for them. And they build the bonds just like Cyrus and Mary. And when you build those bonds, and you build them, you create a story. And story embeds itself in life. And when we have a look at life, do you want to see the book that I had up before? I thought I'd give you a little preview in case I got into trouble with this one. This is a book that I had to buy. I bought this in a bookshelf shop that's no longer in Perth. You know that feeling? Unfortunately, bookshops are dying, which is a real shame. And it's called Where Willie Went, and I read it wherever I go. And the problem is with it is that I like to read it in paper, but because I talk to big audiences, I've got to make it bigger. And it's about sexual references and body parts. Are you okay with that? It's about where we all begin, right? And it goes like this. And it's got the best opening line of any picture book I have ever heard. I'll read it for you. Willie was a little sperm, and he lived inside Mr. Brown, just here. Million other sperm at the same address. At school, Willie wasn't very good at sums, but he was very good at swimming. And so was Bush. So if there were 300 million sperm in the race, how many would you have to beat to win the egg? The teacher asked. 10, said Willie. He wasn't very good at sums, but he was very good at swimming. Soon it would be time for the great swimming race. So Willie practiced every day. But so did the other 300 million other sperm. And so did Bush. But there was only one prize. It was a beautiful egg and it lived inside Mrs. Brown just here. At last, the day of the great swimming race arrived, and the teacher gave them all a pair of goggles, a number, and 2 maps. The first map showed inside Mr. Brown, this way out. The second one showed inside Mrs. Brown, this way in. That very night, Mr. and Mrs. Brown joined together and the teacher cried, "Go!" Swimming race began!
Are you recording
that? And so did Bush. Willie swam as if his life depended upon it. Yep, so did Bush. Bush was catching up. How much further did Willie have to go? He didn't know. He wasn't very good at swimming. But he was the best at swimming. Hurrah! The egg was lovely and soft, and Willie burrowed all the way in. Until he disappeared. And then something strange happened. Something wonderful. Something magical. Something inside began to grow. And it grew bigger until it grew bigger than the egg. And soon it grew bigger than Mrs. Brown's tummy. So Mrs. Brown's tummy began to grow. And it grew until the baby was born. It was a little girl. They called her Edna. But where will they go? Who knows? But when Edna grew into a little girl and she went to school, she found that she wasn't very good. But she was very good at swimming. I hate that as soon as you are born, people put labels on you, don't they? My gorgeous little grandson, Atticus Bond, first day of his life, I'm there an hour after he's born. And I pick him up and I look at him and go, aren't you gorgeous? And they went, oh, he looks just like his granddad. And I went, no, I didn't. I said, don't do that, don't put a label on him. Atticus is going to be himself. He's not going to be me. He's going to make his own story and he's going to go his own way. Because when I was born, they picked me up and they said, hey, look, he looks just like Uncle Gordon. Uncle Gordon was a drunk. He used to drink methylated spirits and sleep in the park. And he was one of the more successful Mitchells. It didn't give me a lot of hope. Watch out for labels. Help kids make their own story. I hope you've enjoyed making stories with me today. I'd love to see your stories turn into books. I'd love to see a picture of you with a kid on your lap, reading the story that you made together. Wouldn't that change the world? Change the person next to you and tell them that they're wonderful. Turn to somebody on the other side and tell them that they're marvellous. Now, I realise I've made a mistake. I want to finish off with this thing. Wait a second, oh, we got somebody in the middle there, come on. There we go, hold there. We're still, oh, we're going to get there. Oh, well done, my dear, thank you. Here we go, hold hands. And this is really sensitive, you watch. Isn't that brilliant?